I've run out of things to ask. We can keep talking though.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. Or we don't have to.
Oh no, I'm down for whatever. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I'm not a very good talker. Like, unlike you, that actually pretended to be a host, I never had any desire to be a host. It just kind of happened.
There's such a niche for that, though. You know what I mean? Like, both you and I. I mean, and I just think, I know I've said this, but I think this is so great with what you're doing. I mean, you just, there's such a need for it, and there needs to be more of it. And, you know, I just thank you for having me on because,
absolutely.
I mean, you know, I can't go on MTV and get on, you know what I mean? I'm going on Show and Talk, which I think is way better.
Yeah.
Way more
well,
fun.
and I feel like even with, like, the larger ones, like, even with Ellen, she tries to, but there's so much time restraint. Like, that's the great thing about having a web series or a podcast or anything. It's just kind of like, oh, you want to tell your story? We'll just talk until you're done. And then that's it, because we don't have to worry about putting in a commercial at a particular time or, like, cutting it off because we're running out of their time. Like, we just go.
Yeah.
So, and, like, that's what life is. Like, life is not in those series of little boxes. Like, sometimes things go long.
They do, and I love that you're unlimited. Sometimes I get very time restrained. I'm like, okay, we gotta get this in this time, not this long, you know. But that's so great that you do it, because we don't podcast. We should. We just do it online. Our website's pretty interactive, but
yeah, I think I'm gonna do both.
I think you should.
Yeah, like have the video part, but also have the podcast part. Because personally, like, I listen to podcasts way more than I watch things on YouTube. I know it's slightly hypocritical of me, but it's just the way it is. You can't watch YouTube in your car.
No, you can't.
So, or while you're cleaning.
It's very bad driving.
Yeah, exactly. Or like I'll listen to a podcast while I'm cleaning, and if I put on a YouTube video while I'm cleaning, then I just won't clean. I want to allow people to do both things. So
yeah, and is TED Talks podcasted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watched one the other day, and I just thought it was so good. She was talking about how when you're going somewhere, or when you're there, and you're feeling like if you're in a big group of people and you feel very intimidated, and you just go to the bathroom and put your hands up in the air for 2 minutes or something, and then you'll walk out and you'll just be so much more confident. Huh. Isn't that crazy?
I need to try that.
It works.
I freak out in large crowds. Which is weird because I always work in environments that have large crowds, but I have a purpose for being there, so it's easier.
Well, and sometimes I like large crowds, but sometimes it's kind of when you don't have that friend by you and you're kind of by yourself. I went to this party one time and I'm waiting. I don't go to a lot of parties, but I went to this one party and it was industry, and so I'm sitting here. You know, people aren't always very. Well, I mean, not like they're not mean in the industry, but they're not going to go out of their way. Just, hey, how are you tonight? You know, just so I'm sitting here, just standing in the back, and okay, I'm by myself. Where are my friends? They didn't come for like a half hour, so I was just sitting there. And normally I would go and mingle, but they're all like cliques and groups, and it's hard sometimes.
That's slightly the downfall now about like having technology in your pocket, because then you're just kind of like, oh, I feel really awkward. I'm just going to take out my phone. Instead of like forcing yourself to go out there and talk to people. I do it all the time.
I agree, because I think I was texting or something. But then I ran into Elizabeth Lyons, so we chatted and had a good time. And
there you go.
Yeah, it's good. And it's good when you know people, because then you don't feel so lost, you know, because you're just standing in there, and it can be crazy.
Industry things are weird, though, because like we were saying, like people... It's hard because you have to put on that persona, and so like you may want to go and like make friends with people, but it's kind of like, oh, well, I don't know what this is going to turn into, and so like everyone always
slip me a business card.
Yeah, or they're gonna like I'm gonna say the wrong thing, and all of a sudden it's gonna be like all over Twitter and Facebook, and I'm gonna have to like clean up the mess of just some random comment that I made.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, it's tough. Like I wouldn't want to be that person.
Well, and you know, I think it's just. For the industry and entertainment, you know, you constantly have to be on. You know, you're constantly having to be on, which is fine, because, I mean, I love people, but, you know, sometimes someone will cut you off guard and you'll be like, Like, I was driving the other day, and some guy was like, and this is so silly, but I was in my car, and I'm driving, and this guy is like, on this lane, just like, can I get over? Can I get over? And I just wanted to be like, no, you can't get over. And I thought, okay, I really need to be nice, because I don't know who he is. You know, he was driving a Bentley too, so I thought maybe I might cross paths with him, and he might have to invest in something I'm doing one day. So I ended up just being like, go ahead, you're fine. But the one thing I was going to tell you too, I'm really excited about. So this is the first time that I have talked about it, but more details will come. But I just found out that I'm emceeing an event made in Nashville. It's going to be September 12th at Centennial Park. and I'm really excited because it's Nashville food, Nashville businesses, and Nashville music.
Oh, wow.
And so yes, and they reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested, and I'm just really excited. I'm nervous because it's supposed to be like 5 to 7,500 or something like that, maybe even 10,000. So it's going to be very different, but I'm really excited. We're in the first beginning stages. They had it last year, and then this year they have it. And so, but they've allowed me 2 spots for artists that I've had on in the past.
That's awesome.
So I'm really excited.
Yeah, so not only like is it good for you, but you get to like bring friends along and help them too.
I'm so
cool.
excited. I'm just really excited. They're such nice people, and it's going to be really great exposure for myself. And I think it's just Nashville. Like that's why, and then it all just makes sense. It's like everything needs with the show that I'm doing. It's just the CBEX Chris Burkmenn experience needs to be invested in the city.
Yeah.
So it really just reminds you, and it's just going to be really cool. So really excited.
Well, I'm glad that you're staying invested in the city because so many things like they're like, oh, I'm about the hometown, and then they get really big and just kind of go out to like LA or New York or everything, which like there's nothing wrong with that, and there are lots of people that are in similar situations in all those cities too. But having that focused concentration, like I think it gives people that security of knowing, hey, he's always going to take care of me, not kind of like use me as a way to get someplace else. So
I know, and it's so common today when people use people, and it's just, it's always been like that, but I think even now today, it's even with social media, it's even more because, it's just who do you trust, who do you consider to be your core group, I have a lot of friends, and definitely learned a lot from each friend, and each person that you meet too. Even if you meet that wrong person, I think it's always an opportunity to learn from it. Okay, well, next time I need to be more mindful not to let that crazy person around me. But just always good learning lessons.
It's tough, and being in a place where you have to be a personable person, like that's really hard to say, I'm not going to have this person like be part of my life. Like you're still nice to them, but at the same time, like you don't have to bring everybody close. And I think that's the balance that is really hard that hopefully entertainment will figure out, is that you can still bring people close. Either you bring in the wrong people or everyone shuts everyone out, and trying to find that balance is really difficult.
And balance, yes. What you just said, that can be me, because I'll meet someone who's like, oh, we're going to be best friends, we're going to hang out all the time, and then you let them in right away, and then they'll just like suck you dry for all your resources, all your networks, which is fine, but it's just kind of disappointing because once they have what they need, they don't, talk to you anymore, and so it can be a little discouraging. So.
Yeah.
But on that note,
I know, I feel like that's such a really sad thing to end on.
But I love hosting. I love what I'm doing. I love building it, and I'm just really excited for where this is going to go. And any resource that we can be, any help that you need, just let me know.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I definitely want to send people your way because I'm excited for this whenever it comes out. So go, just let me know.
Which might be tomorrow.
Oh,
We'll see.
great. Okay. I'm excited.
I don't know.
Yeah, just let me know.
So yes, so random question.
Yes.
Then.
Random.
Theater background.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about theater. So tell me what have you done? What do you like? Just because we didn't put that in there, so I'm going to awkwardly add it now because I want to know.
Theater. Okay, so when I was growing up, I found a love for theater because I'm just very expressive. So when I was in grade school, middle school, I did Midsummer's Night's Dream. And side note to where I knew I wanted to host, when I was I refer back to it. When I was in the 8th grade, there was a talent show in school, and we had to audition to host, and I knew I wanted that spot so bad. So I auditioned, and I got it, and that was just like the first thing I remember just being completely excited about. Yeah, it was cool. But back to plays, and so then when I got into high school, I'm very used to being put into places where I know very little people. My mom and stepdad separated, so then we moved to Fairview. Well, Fairview Heights is where I grew up. They didn't have a school system, so I had to go to Belleville. And that school was freaking large. Let's just compare it to Nashville. It was just freaking large. And I knew no one. And so when I was there, I really want to be in plays. So I started just auditioning. And a lot of times, in theater, people have who they want in it already, but I didn't care. I tried out for this Cinderella wore combat boots, and I got the heralder. So I did that and played it well, I thought. Disappointed, but there were a lot of female roles in that, so that was kind of why. But that, and then we had The Sound of Music, and I auditioned for that. I didn't get that. They casted me as a Nazi, and then I ended up just doing set work, which was fine, you know. Sound, I think, helped run sound, and then from that I tried out for Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, and I didn't get that, and then my big break ended up happening in I think it's big break when it ended up happening in my junior year. It was Crazy for You, and I was casted as Junior, and I was so excited because I don't know if you're familiar with Crazy for You. It was like a love story, and the girl was from a small town, and the guy was from New York, and he met her and wanted her to come, and so I was this cowboy, and I had a singing part in it, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is it. And, you know, my parents were just so proud. So that was when I just really knew that that's what I wanted. You know, I love doing it. I haven't done it lately because I've just, you know, life gets so crazy. And it requires so much work.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought about getting back into theater, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do anything else.
No job, and, you know, they don't pay, which, I mean,
Yeah.
the small ones don't.
Some of the ones here do, but even still, like, it's really tough, and it's like months of your time. So.
It is, and you put a lot into it. And my kid I mentor works for Studio 10 in Franklin, and he loves it. He does set work and stuff.
Neat.
But so he's really excited about it. I was like, maybe I'll audition. No, I won't, because I don't have that much time, like you said. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, when I graduated high school, I didn't really do very much theater. I auditioned for Into the Woods, and I didn't get anything. But, you know, I didn't know anybody. It was my first audition, but so I still enjoy the thought of acting in plays, but I haven't really done one lately. But yeah, Into the Woods, did you see that?
I haven't yet.
I want to see it. I've heard mixed reviews, but I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, my high school did it. I wasn't able to be part of it. That was actually when I started doing set work.
Okay.
Because, like, I auditioned, and then I realized that I was out of town the week. I traveled a lot when I was a kid. It was really weird, because apparently most kids didn't do this. But it was, like, the same weekend that I was going to be out of town. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll help build a set.
Yeah.
So I did that. So.
Well, look at you.
Yeah.
Dang.
I know. That's how I got into crew stuff. I don't know. But anyways, it's not about me, and this is about to stop again. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
we'll go ahead
fine.
and end.
Okay.
But yeah, it was so great having you. I'm glad we're finally able to make this happen.
Yes, thank you. I'm really excited, and I had been following you, and so glad that you reached out, and we were able to make it happen.
Definitely. Thanks.
Thank
Till
you.
next time. Bye.
Bye.
I don't have the sign-off thing yet.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I just realized that. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do.